What is up, y'all? The Eric V here, and I am joined by Kiwi on the Sticks for our first streamer school interview. I might think of some lame school pun for this series that I'm doing, but the reason I sought out Kiwi was because, for one, she's a streamer that I just genuinely enjoy. I like watching her, and to be honest, I don't watch a whole lot of Twitch streams, but whenever I pop into her stream, I always enjoy myself, and I don't remember if it happened right before or right after. I think it was right before I had the idea. And you were the first person I wanted to interview.
Oh yeah.
You started tweeting out like streamer tips, and you started expressing an interest in like streamer education. So I'm like, oh, this is perfect. So that's when I slid into DMs and I was like, hey, you mind if I get you on my YouTube channel? And that was several months ago, back when my YouTube channel was not very active and consistent. Now that I'm kind of on my wave, here we are. And I want to say thank you, Kiwi. I appreciate you first and foremost. Secondly, would you like to introduce yourself?
I suppose so. I'm Kiwi on the Sticks. I've been streaming on Twitch for 2.5 years now. I do all kinds of things on my channel, but mostly playing different video games. And in my channel, it's all about an experience. That's what I hope to create, whether it's through the production value or through the game I'm playing, through the music, through what I'm wearing. I like to make sure that it's all kind of working together to have that synergy going. So that way people, even if they don't know what it is that they like about the atmosphere, that there's something there.
Yeah, and I could say it is like that was a good intro, by the way. But yeah, there is a something there. And I remember, you mentioned it last night during your stream. When I first caught your stream, you were using your webcam. You actually talked about this as well, which I'll ask you more about the Stream Elements program. But you were using a webcam. The tech wasn't all there, but the personality was, and that infectious nature was. So I think even seeing that lens to say, technology doesn't make the streamer, but it sure helps. So you are discussing some specifics about your camera and your lens a little bit, and how you had like a better bokeh effect because of your particular setup. Do you mind going into like what your camera specifics are once more?
Oh, of course. So when I first started, I was streaming from a laptop, my little Acer. It was like $600, got it from Best Buy. And everyone said, get that Logitech C920. So I was like, okay. And I got it just like everyone else.
Yep.
And it did its little job. And I kept the auto white balance on, and it was a mess. I looked like a mess.
I'm not nodding my head to say you look like a mess, but I know about that auto white balance. And I have a YouTube video about
Yeah, because that, when you're just starting, sometimes you don't even know what is going on with it or how to change the settings. So I was just kind of winging it. Like it said, like plug and go. And I was like, okay.
I plugged and I'm playing.
Now I'm going to go. Yeah. So I did end up winning the Stream Elements Diversity Fund, and they gave us like $3,000 to improve our setup. So I was like, okay, we gonna go ahead and get the thing that I would never get on my own. And so I got the Sony a6000 and the Sigma 16mm lens. And the Sigma lens is like, it creates like a wider shot. It helps a lot with that depth perception. It just makes everything look really crisp. When you hold things up close to it, it looks really nice. And it takes really great video, even outdoors. And so I was thinking, even though altogether, I want to say it's around like $1,000, I really thought that it was impactful, not because I, needed some expensive equipment, but when you're streaming and you don't have certain things that you need, it can kind of make you insecure. At least I know it did for me. It made me feel very insecure about my channel. It made me feel like, oh no, maybe they're distracted by how low the quality is about something in my channel. And even though my community stuck around and they supported me and they, made little jokes or whatever, I still felt like at some point I'm going to have to get this together so I can feel like a professional, and so I can stop worrying about if this auto white balance is taking people away.
Yeah, for real. So it was more about your feelings and your confidence when it came to streaming, when it came to your tech, more so than, oh, this might get more people? It was just about your confidence levels?
Yeah, just because I feel like when I'm confident, I'm comfortable, I'm relaxed, and I'm having fun, that will get more people. But also, I'm not going to have fun if I'm worried about something in the back of my mind. I'm thinking about it, I'm revisiting it, while I'm talking about something else is just there. And so being able to improve the technology, it was not at all about getting people to stay in my channel. It was about getting me to stay present in my channel.
I like that. I like that focus. Are there any pre-stream rituals that you go through to make sure you feel confident and, that you have that energy to entertain? Because I'm sure on some days you might just not be in that mood. Do you do anything to adjust your mood or anything like that?
Absolutely. I think having a pre-stream ritual is important. It's been really helpful for me to, first of all, make kind of a background on my computer of the things that I needed to open and have done. So that way, once it was time to go, I'm like not missing anything. So I have captions going on my stream. I have Leorin board going on my stream. I got Streamlabs chatbot and all these other plugins and programs. And sometimes if you open something out of order, it doesn't work, or, it just becomes like a lot to try to keep track of. And so one of the things I like to make sure I have taken care of is like all the stuff's written down that I need for my tech. And then, it's there, it's visible. I don't have to think about it too much. And then, being able to also get ready before my stream. So I know not everyone wears makeup or even needs to do all of this, but doing my makeup actually really helps me feel more creative. It makes me feel more like I can express myself. So I love to like listen to music and sit in front of my vanity and draw my eyebrows on and like, just get into it so I can kind of, get ready to talk to other people and be able to share myself with other people, because kind of all day I'm like not really talking to, especially because of COVID,
right?
I'm not really talking to a whole lot of people. And, even if your viewership is at, 10, that's still like way more people than I talk to in real life at a time.
That's true. No, that's true. It's basically public speaking.
Yes. So, if you even have, 5 people even in your channel, it's still like a lot to focus on, and you want to be able to keep up. You want to be able to share yourself. You want to be able to be in a mind space to cultivate a new experience with them. And I feel like the music and getting my stuff done, having a visual reminder of all the things I need to get done for the stream, but also like opening myself mentally to the process helps me a lot.
I feel that. And I've talked about it on stream. I talk about it on video. Sometimes if I'm wearing a shirt that like happens to be small or something, I might bust out a few push-ups. So when I get on stream, I'm like, okay, I feel good. Like I feel confident. If my hairline's messed up, I'm like, oh, let me find a hat and I just go throw that on. But I do these things to make sure that I feel confident. I'm not thinking about, oh, are they looking at my, whatever. So I totally get that. You touched on a couple things. The first thing I want to ask you about is you mentioned Streamlabs chatbot and you also mentioned plugins. So I'm assuming you use OBS and then you just also use Streamlabs chatbot on the side. Why? And I already know why, but I'm just asking you, why do you prefer OBS Studio over Streamlabs or any other service?
Well, Streamlabs OBS is what was recommended to me at first, because it was, I heard that it was easier for people who are new to streaming. I was on my little laptop. And so, when I used to fire that thing up, my laptop sounded like it was about to take off into the atmosphere. And I couldn't even do any stinger transitions or anything on my, on my slobs that I had. And so I was like, no, I need to change this. And I got into OBS and I read more about it and watched more videos. And I found out that, plugins work on OBS that don't work on Streamlabs OBS, and how much more you can customize things on OBS. And so I thought that would be the better option to be able to customize eventually, even though I didn't know everything I needed to know at all. And I still don't.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It really is. It's so much to learn and so much to do, but I like that. I like that there's so much room to incorporate new things and that I'm not going to run out of stuff to learn or to do. The more roadblocks there are, the worse I feel about something. So I like that OBS is like, just go do what you need to do. So yeah, I definitely prefer OBS. And for anyone who is wanting to like spruce up their stream and learn about more things and kind of really get into the program and tailor it to their channel, then OBS would be the way to go.
All right, you heard it here first. I am still using a laptop. If people watch my videos, you'll see like my little laptop in the corner, but I still stream off that. I do everything on that still. And I'm trying to make the transition to OBS, but there's something about it that makes me like, I just think about the little things that could go wrong when I import into OBS. And I'm like, yeah, I got all these Streamlabs alerts. And like, I think about that.
Are you already nesting?
Yeah, somewhat. I'm not nesting as much as I should. Talk to me.
All right. Okay. So your reluctance is for a reason. I understand it, but I think that you can streamline some of those things and it won't be so bad. Also, sometimes you do just have to start over.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to start over, and there's nothing that says that you have to, totally get rid of slobs and only do OBS since you switch. You can make it a gradual thing, so there's no rush. But don't be scared of like nesting and doing all that stuff, because I know how you have been around the Twitch streets. You are a Twitch dinosaur.
I am.
It's very likely that you have seen some things and done some things and whatever that you maybe want to spruce up or add to your channel, and it would be much easier to do that on OBS. And you know how to reach me.
I do.
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
Well, I appreciate that, Kiwi. You were touching on earlier about becoming open when it comes to streaming, being confident, and all those things. And I wanted, I realized, and this was a few months ago, and there's some streamers who went through name changes, like Barefoot Tasha, where her real name is in her username. There's, if you read a lot of About Me sections, you'll see Story Mode Bay, her section say, hey, just call me Bree. I've changed my name from Mugga11 to The Eric V. I wanted to ask you why, or where is your line between privacy and openness with your community, and how do you balance that?
Well, one thing about my community is that they are very understanding of me, which I love. So usually when I feel something or I say something, or even if I don't say something, we just have an understanding and they're like, okay. And it's never a big deal from there. I happen to have a background where, I've been in public spaces pretty much since I was a little kid. And by public space, I mean like visible to the public. Because of different activities that I've been involved in and stuff. And one of the reasons why I didn't want to bring that over here is because I simply didn't want to use that. I didn't want to use what I've been involved in prior to this and like capitalize, because of something that I've done in the past. I just didn't want to do that. I wanted to start over, earn my little stripes, whatever I got to do over here, and not be like, look at what I did. Because I just don't feel like that's necessary. I'm not that kind of person, even though like I don't have a problem with people who do that. It just wasn't the route for me. And so being able to kind of have my dedicated like name and my dedicated space that was specifically for gaming and getting to know people on Twitch and everything like that. That was really important to me because I like the separation that I can have. And I think that privacy is really important, especially online. You have to be able to know what your boundaries are and you have to be able to stick to them. And a lot of times, even if you are sticking to your boundaries, there still might be times where somebody just doesn't respect them. And,
Absolutely.
it's very like for streamers in general, the safety and the protection isn't really where it could be. And so, yeah, like, you know, even with recently with the hate raids and everything, I'm just like, this is why I don't say much. Like, there's just, you know, there's no real safety. A lot of times on the internet, it can be a dangerous place. And so if you're able to protect yourself, if you're able to, you know, make a business PayPal account, if you're able to make a business email and link stuff to there, if you're able to like set up these things where at the very least you're protected should you happen to cross paths with someone who does not have good intentions with you, then at the very least, you know, you will have had your back before something bad could happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And you are exposed to millions of people and you never really know who's watching.
Mhm.
You know, you hope they all have good intentions, but the fact of the matter is everybody has people who just kind of don't like them or don't care for them for whatever reason. You could be the nicest person in the world. Somebody will say you're fake. Like there's like something for people to dislike. So thank you for elaborating on that. Cause yeah, I just wanted to get your opinion on that. You were talking about, you know, what you did in the past, and you kind of touched on starting streaming. So I want to know, why did you start streaming on Twitch? Was there some inspiration, somebody that you saw and then you just started, or was it just like, I just want to talk about games, or what's up?
Oh, no, absolutely not. I didn't even know Twitch existed before I started playing Splatoon 2. And I played competitively and I founded a competitive team. And so we used to do tournaments, and I went to LANs, which is like an in-person tournament. And, you know, I just got really involved in the competitive community. And everyone asked me every time I went, are you a streamer? Are you a streamer? And I'm like, no, what is this? I don't even know what this is. What does this mean? And so one of my teammates started streaming, and I thought his stream was so hilarious. His name is Tiki. And he's just so funny. And I was like, oh, this is why people like to watch this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went on and I kind of got to know different people in their communities. And I figured out like, hey, this is something that I could see myself doing and loving and not being tired of it, because I get bored.
Mm-hmm.
I get bored. The 9 to 5 life is not for me.
Clocking
in ain't for me. Yeah. And until there's like a 4-day work week and like $1,000 raise minimum wage, I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm not clocking in. I'm not doing that. Like, I don't want anything to do with it. And I also just feel like being live makes a difference to me as well, versus pre-recorded content. Because I've been doing pre-recorded content, you know, since I was a kid, but like the live experience can be really special. And there are moments that like totally kind of electrify the whole channel when they happen. And I appreciate those a lot. And so, you know, the first time I felt that happen in a chat, I was like, oh yeah, this is it. I like this.
Yes. Go on. Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
But I was just going to say, it's like a live stream is really, you can have a plan, but the way your chat works is real spontaneous. It's really unpredictable, and you just kind of never know what's going to happen. And that's what makes every stream kind of special in a way. But yeah, I do love, and I've always loved live content. And that's one of the reasons why YouTube was hard for me to get a foothold on, because there wasn't that interaction. Like, I had to write out everything. I had to edit everything. It's very time consuming. But, you know, you click go live and it's just like, all right, let the fun begin. And then we just go at it. So I definitely understand that appeal. And that's why I'm a dinosaur when it comes to live streaming, because I don't know, I just love it. Like, I don't know, it's been 13 years for me, off and on in total. So yeah. And I always say my Twitch account is older than Twitch itself. My Twitch account was like a Justin TV account.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's nuts for me. So I wanted to ask, what social media platforms specifically do you utilize? Because you said you don't do pre-recorded content. So what do you do?
Twitter.
Hi.
I love Twitter. It's so good. I loved Twitter before I even started streaming, so I knew I was going to love Twitter. But it's just, I feel like Twitter and maybe TikTok are the places where things kind of start and then they go over to the other things, as far as like Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And I feel like Twitter's just like quick, and you get to interact with a lot of people, but kind of in a personal level that doesn't feel too controlled to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I think I've just loved Twitter since the beginning. I also, some of the other ones kind of chased me off because people talk too much at a time on them, and then I was just like
overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Twitter's one that just doesn't overwhelm me because it just like can't.
When you tweet on Twitter, is there a strategy behind your tweets for engagement, or do you just tweet when you think of, something that you want to share?
Sometimes I do things for Twitter that have to do with a particular moment. So if something happens in my stream, or if I'm inspired to do some kind of makeup look or something, then I will hold on to those things. So I'll clip it and put it in my little folder, or I'll plan out a day to take pictures of whatever, makeup look or thing that I want to upload. But for the most part, I just be tweeting. And a lot of times, like, the key to kind of getting to know your community and reaching out and stuff on social media is, putting yourself out there, but also understanding what your community wants to see from you, what people want to see from you, what people think you're good at, what your appeal is from an outside lens. And I feel like Twitter in particular has helped me kind of learn, what do people respond to when I post it? And so I'm not posting it for them, but I'm paying attention and giving them what they have shown that they want to interact with.
And what have they shown you from your perspective?
I feel like if I take a nice picture of my makeup or my hair or something, not of my hair, but I'm
right.
If I of my look in general, I feel like people that are in my community appreciate like my style at times, and so they usually respond to things like that. Or if I'm ranting about something, because I do get carried away on my channel a little sometimes. So yeah, they pretty much like when I'm like rowdy, or or pictures, or videos can be very difficult on Twitter, especially because of how the quality,
for sure, I hate it,
turns it into 60p. But yeah, and I've also learned that my like streamer geared tweets are usually things that people interact with, not for like actually helping people, but a lot of times the things that have done well for me is like telling people to just do what they want to do, or giving people the like confidence to be okay if they're, a really chill streamer, or if they're a disabled streamer, or whatever, if they, dress a certain way on stream or whatever. Like, my only goal really is to make sure everyone knows that it's okay to be those things, and you can still be successful being those things. And it doesn't really matter what anyone else has to say about it, as long as you're not hurting anyone or violating TOS.
Absolutely. There was one Twitter rant I'll say that I do have on my screen here. I'm not displaying it to YouTube, but I will read a bit of it out loud because it's something that I have no experience in personally. So I definitely wanted to get some elaboration if needed on your opinion on it. But on September 22nd, you said a lot of people tweeting about not going to TwitchCon because you can just meet up with friends instead. But the best parts of TwitchCon for me was meeting new people and getting connected with brands, cosplay contests, etc. That stuff cannot be replaced with a friend trip. And then you go on to say business is done at TwitchCon, opportunities and things. It's not just some link up. And I'm sorry if y'all treated the past ones like spring break. And then you go on to say a lot of people do just go for fun and friends, but don't forget about people who grow their brand and promote themselves from things like TwitchCon. People won $20,000 from TwitchCon contests. People got deals from TwitchCon. For a lot of people, it's more than a business trip, dog. Or it is a business trip, dog. I read it wrong.
Yeah.
But so when it comes to doing business at TwitchCon, and I remember seeing another tweet saying you were averaging 14 viewers at the time that you went to TwitchCon. How did you go about approaching brands and going to panels? Because you mentioned that as well.
So just because of what I feel about communicating with other people, because this will all depend on how you feel about communicating, I tend to be myself out loud in every way that I can so that I can attract that, if that makes any sense. So, you know, I'm not going to walk up to the Mac booth at TwitchCon with no makeup on and be like, you know, what's good? I want some lipstick. I'm going to showcase in every way that I can. Come talk to me. I want to get to know you. I want to be talked to. So I have as much, visibly as I can so people can feel comfortable coming to talk to me. Usually when somebody has something interesting on, people want to talk to them. They feel more comfortable. They feel like they're invited. If people are in cosplay, most of the time people don't have a problem walking up to the people in cosplay and being like, oh my God, that's because you've been invited, you know, in a way to come and talk to them and interact with them. They're letting you know that they want to be interacted with. So that's one of the things that I feel benefits me in these spaces is making sure people know I want to be talked to. I'm not gonna do this stuff if I don't want you to comment on it, child.
Okay, right.
I got these 6-inch platform boots on. You better talk to me. I'm the tallest person at convention center. You better talk to me. However the conversation goes from there, then obviously that's that part's kind of more in my control. But just letting other people know that I'm open to being approached is kind of the number one for me. But also, making sure that you make the most of an opportunity and see what it is that you need for your career, for your channel, and seeking that out and really like thinking about it. So if you're just like, oh, I just need to get my viewers up. Nah, dog, what do you need to do? In order for that to happen? That's not what you need to do. That's an effect of you doing something you needed to do. So figuring out, what do I need to do? Do I need to be better at monologuing, being able to talk when there's nobody talking in the chat? If that's something you need to be better at, hit up these panels and listen to, I Am Brandon or somebody, SETI or not, and listen to them talk about, how they kind of tell a story while they're talking and how they keep the flow going, or certain things that might benefit you more than but you have to acknowledge and understand where you need help and where you could stand to improve, because you can absolutely fix things. You can, like, your streaming career is going to be an evolution. So even when you think you're done, you think you're finished, you might learn something else and you might change in another way, or you might decide like, oh, this isn't my style anymore. I want to go with something else. So just understanding, especially at a thing like TwitchCon, where you are and what you need to gain from it. And yes, you absolutely can go there and meet your friends. That's not a problem.
Right.
But I think that day, a lot of people were saying like, man, TwitchCon's just an expensive like friend trip. And I'm just like, it is absolutely not. I still talk to the people who I met there. I'm still friends with the people that I finally met in person there. I was able to make relationships with different companies and longer lasting, friendships and relationships with creators that I really look up to in the space as well. When I went to TwitchCon and I saw Big Cheese KIT, he was 500 feet away from me, and I flowjoed over there so I could be like, I'm so sorry to bother you, but I love you and you're amazing.
He is amazing.
And he ain't he? Yes. And he like talked to me, and we were homies ever since. I got to see him again at PAX, and he made a video with one of my friends who was there, and he was like, you better not wear them boots. Because I wore them boots to TwitchCon. Like, yeah. So you just end up being able to connect with people. Cheese also sent me one of the monitors that I have in my setup now.
I remember that.
Yeah, when I was, getting my new PC built and all this stuff, and I, had to start from the ground up again. And he's just been really supportive. And I'm not going to say it was because of TwitchCon, but he didn't know who I was before then. And so, being able to like meet people and connect with them in person can, manifest all kinds of different things for you. You just have to be open. You just have to be open to the experience and open to going to things, even if you think you're not going to be interested in them or you don't know what to expect. Just having an open mind and being yourself out loud helps you.
I want to put a pin in be yourself out loud, because that was going to be my next question. You come off to me, and I mean, I already know it. I can tell from even your VOD last night, you talking about, yeah, I know I might annoy some people. And I wanted to ask you, you are an extrovert, right? You would classify yourself as such? Do you feel like you have, I think so too. Do you feel like you have an advantage based on your extroversion because you are more open and inviting to communicating with people and just communicating with, strangers who might be watching your stream?
I think it might look like I have an advantage from the outside because it's like, oh, people want to talk to you. It's so easy. All you do is like smile, hi everybody, and then people want to stick around. But for me, the things that I don't really like show or talk about is how many people leave because I am not their dedicated source of that.
Right.
And then, or expect me to do other things because of that, or they want to spend all this time with me, or they want more because of that. And, trying to balance like, okay, this is my stream and my channel. So like, yeah, I'm inviting people in, but also, trying to make sure that I'm keeping like a healthy relationship with people and it not getting like out of control or forming these other types of relationships that I'm like, wait. And so I feel like a lot of times I misunderstood or maybe communicating something I'm not trying to communicate.
Right. Yeah.
And so that can be really difficult to try to learn, like, what did I say? Because I'd be in my stream like, love you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe not everybody feels like that's like some casual ass thing. Oh.
No, you good. You good. You good. You're good. I swear you're fine.
Sorry. Had a little slip up there. Not everyone feels like that's going to be some casual thing. And so, yeah, I have to kind of learn how to be more mindful because people don't know me and I don't know them.
Right.
And it's important to make sure I'm still showing people respect and that they're showing me respect as well.
Absolutely.
Also, it's awkward. I feel like I'm an extrovert, but I'm shy.
Okay.
I'm so shy. I feel like I don't know what to say at times. I want to be talked to, but I don't know like what to say a lot of the time.
Yeah. I think that's real. I relate to that for sure. Generally, I consider myself an introvert, but I still feel like I'm most myself when I'm on streams, and I can always control the flow. Well, I can, for the most part, I can control the flow of conversation. So I'm always talking about something that I'm interested in. So I think that helps a lot. But that leads me into my next question, which I was going to say for way later in the interview. But do you think anyone can become a successful streamer?
Absolutely. Of course.
All right.
There's nothing really that would hold you back except for yourself, which is very difficult and is a very real thing to be in your own way. But yes, I feel like regardless of what your content is, that you can be successful. It just depends on what your idea of success is. I know what mine is, but I'm like grateful for a lot of things that maybe other people would think is, are silly. But yes, depending on what you view as success, I do feel like you can be a successful streamer. As far as Twitch is concerned, though, there are 92 white men who are the most successful on the platform. Right. So that's like kind of a different discussion. But yes, I do feel like, regardless of what you're interested in and what you actually stream and what you look like, if you have a face cam or not, if you're super bubbly and energetic or if you chill, if you play music, if you cook, whatever it is, I feel like, yes, you can absolutely be a successful streamer.
I like that. So you are successful to the point where you were able to not work at a 9 to 5 anymore, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with that, how were you sure that you were ready to take that leap into becoming a career streamer? Was it a certain number you wanted to reach, whether it be subscribers or monthly viewers? Was there some sort of metric, or was it a time where it just felt right? Like, I can do this safely?
Unfortunately, safety was not a thing for me.
Okay.
I know people are like, oh, let me like save up and do all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, the other stuff is horrible. And I can't live if I'm like feeling horrible about something.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like if you're at a job that makes you feel like soulless, that is kind of worse. And long term, those effects, are seen on your health, and they can change you forever. Being under stress and feeling sad about stuff, feeling hopeless about stuff. If you feel that for an extended period of time, it causes you a lot of damage. And so I'm thinking, what do I think is more important, or what is the thing that I can like replace, semi easily, which it's not easy to make money on Twitch, but like, it's definitely not easy to sit there and be like dying inside.
Yeah, it's either.
Not. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely was just trying to focus on, okay, what do I need to feel? What do I need to get out of life? I'm 30 now.
Okay. I wanted to ask so bad. I'm so glad you said that. I'm like,
darling.
Do I ask? I was like, no. I know. I wanted to know. Well, I'm glad you volunteered the information. Yeah. I'm 31. If anyone cares to know, I do work a 9 to 5. I do stream 15 hours a week, and of course, I run this YouTube channel. But okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. I forgot. Okay, so you were just miserable, and it was time to go. You said, "I'm 30, YOLO. We gonna see if it works out."
Well, then the pandemic happened, and so that added a whole other layer of, oh, well, I guess this is the universe telling me that this is it, because I got like a solid 8 months in before the pandemic started.
Wow.
So it was just like, okay, this is it.
That's dope.
This is what I'm gonna, put all my time and energy into, and it's just been great ever since.
That's dope. So recently, with the hate raids and other things, other just Twitch controversies, people have said, I'm done with Twitch. I'm going to go to Facebook gaming. It's time for me to go to YouTube gaming. Obviously, you have not made that transition. I have no plans to make that transition myself, but I do want to know, what would it take for you to ultimately make that move?
Twitch burned into the ground.
That's basically my answer too.
Like, absolutely not. The thing is, I'm not going to just run off to another platform because the problem still exists. Mm-hmm. There are videos on YouTube that people have made of me talking about me in a very poor light, and just making stuff up, lying, all of that. Like, I'm not going to escape harassment and racism and sexism and all the isms just by streaming on YouTube. It's just not going to happen. Like, those people still exist. Rules need to be put in place. People need to be punished. People have been harmed, need justice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But other than that, just being like, oh, I'm just going to move to YouTube it's not going to stop those things from happening. It will actively, affect Twitch if enough people were to move from it. But it's the people behind these accounts that, that are making things
absolutely
difficult.
I got a couple questions here. I'm gonna kind of combine them a little bit. My first question is, how do you think you retain viewers? Because obviously we we want, it's hard to get people to see you, but it's harder to keep people coming back, especially for something as random and possibly inconsistent as live content, because we don't know how we're going to feel from day to day. We just kind of do our best. So how do you feel like you keep viewers coming back to see you every time you go live?
Well, viewership honestly is something that is a little bit lower on my list of priorities just because I know how much it can fluctuate. And while it's important to know what your numbers are, because, for science purposes, being able to know where you stand or what days did better than others is important. I just don't feel like that defines the experience, the viewership, like the number itself.
Right.
But when it comes to viewer retention, I think that one of the most important things is to make sure you are giving people a feeling, because that's what I valued when I first got on Twitch. I was like, oh, I like this feeling. I like this feeling of being able to talk to them, but also it's very like chill for me as a viewer because I don't have to like keep talking to them. I don't have to I'm just like here chilling. They make me laugh. I laugh, or they do something funny, and it's just like, I just like the feeling. And so I think with the retention, you want to figure out what feeling you want to give people. Do you want people to feel calm when they leave your stream? Do you want people to feel like, oh my God, this is the best night of my life when they leave your stream?
Yeah.
But if you know what you want to give, then they start to expect those, or they start to understand what you're trying to do as well. And it's like a learning experience for you and for your community at the same time. And if you get on the same page with them, then that's when it grows, is when you both know this is what we're giving, this is what we're getting, and we're doing it together.
I like
and
that.
That's what makes it go.
Yeah, I have a statement in my YouTube banner, and it says tech and tips to make you your favorite streamer. It's not really like promising any type of viewership or partnership or any of those, I guess, more tangible things, but it is like, I'm going to make you like what you do, I guess, if what you do is liking, streaming. But I think that's dope that you subscribe to that. So you touched on something that made me ask another question that I have on my list here. And that is, while you're live, do you hide your viewer count?
Hide my viewer count? I don't even know how to see my viewer count. I don't know, child. Where is that? I don't see that on OBS. Chat, the stream information. I don't know. I don't listen. If you in there, you in there. And also I can kind of tell based on how the chat is moving.
Right.
And that's what I care about, is my chat moving.
Me too. Other
than that, like, I just want people to make sure that they know I'm paying attention to them, even though I miss messages in the chat all the time. Oh, well. But, as long as they understand that I want to talk to them and I want to be talked to, that's really it. Even if, if there are 20 people in a chat and all 20 of them are talking, it's lit.
Absolutely.
That's just how it is for me. But that's my kind of channel, is like active, pitter patter.
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
I like.
And your chat moves. So I get it. And I feel the same way. I would say my chat moves pretty well. That's what I, keep my focus on.
You're great at that. I feel like you reading your chat is phenomenal. Like, you are like one of the best people that I've seen read your chat, interact with people. The way you remember stuff, I'd be forgetting stuff constantly. Somebody answers a question I asked 5 seconds ago. I'm like, what? What are you even talking about?
I mean, it takes something to learn, because it's like your brain is doing so many things when you stream, and that's what people don't understand if they've never streamed before. It's like my brain is trying to play this game, remember to look at this camera, trying to like focus on everything. So, it makes sometimes everything worse. I feel like I'm talking worse, I'm playing the game worse, I'm whatever, but I'm trying to keep it together, and it works. I appreciate that. So we are, of course, all about constant growth. We never think that we're perfect. I think we have that in common. So is there anything currently that you feel like you can improve upon, or something that you're working on to become a better streamer, or even a better like content creator in general?
Oh, absolutely. I always have things that I'm like, okay, I need to improve this, or I need to work on this. I think some of the things on my channel that I could afford to really get into are things like what to do for my tier 3 subs, or how I want to go about branding, because that directly affects like your sub badges and the other things that you offer your community, and like what do you want them to think about you, what do they want, what do they even think about you?
Yeah.
But a lot of that is tied into your branding and kind of like how you package yourself in your channel. So I'm always thinking about that, because I'm like, child, I don't know, it's just me. It's just me being ridiculous most of the time, and it's really difficult for me to explain what it is that makes my channel unique. And so yeah, I think about stuff like that. I think about the technical side. I would really love to learn how to get into my Go XLR better and be able to like make songs. Yeah,
Okay.
I love doing that kind of stuff. Sometimes I'll just like record, I'll sample something else, my voice, and just be ridiculous. And it's so much fun to do it. But I would love to learn how to actually in real time be able to make a song that makes sense, even if it's like a simple thing.
That'd be dope.
Why'd that make you laugh?
That'd be dope. I'm ready to see it. I'm thinking about watching that live. And everybody interrupting you with sound commands. Always.
They don't stop.
So this is more of a personal question. Where is your merch and when is it coming?
That's another thing. I'm telling you, this branding is really difficult.
It is.
Because I don't know. I'm not 100% sure how to put myself on something that's not myself. And there's also, which is something I need to unpack, there's also a part of me that feels like maybe it's a little bit vain to like have myself on things that people pay for. I don't even ask me. That's my listen. That's me. That's my heart. I got it on my chest. So
right.
It's not anything that has to do with anyone who has merch. It's literally me.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to put like your profile picture on a shirt or something.
No, I
just like, a little Kiwi logo or a phrase.
Walking around with my name on them. I'm like, I don't know.
You know what's funny? Now that I'm thinking about it, none of my, and I used to, back when I was me and Mugga 11, I used to have my name on my merch, but none of my name isn't on any of my merch. And I have like 12 or 13 designs, but I have like, my cat and like phrases I might have said and stuff like that. But yeah, that merch, I think well, obviously, it's good to have, but it's good to give your people like something tangible that they can like hold on to. And I'm sure like, when TwitchCon or any con rolls around, you'll have viewers being like, oh, you watch Kiwi too? Like, and then that could be like a very dope moment. So we're waiting. Right. We're waiting. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm working on it. I think I have, again, thanks to the Stream Elements Diversity Fund, I actually have the tools to do so.
That's so dope.
At this point. So, all I got to do is like get my life together. It's the hardest part.
In due time. So when you were first starting out on Twitch, what advice would you have given yourself that you know now, but may have not known back then? She's like, I was perfect. I don't.
No, perfect. I just had my expectations were so low that there wasn't really anything that I was like, I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to be a partner. I'm going to be whatever. I was like, we're going to have fun,
right.
Which I knew I was going to have fun. And I did.
Yeah.
But like, that was really the only thing I was banking on. So other than that, I was just like, okay, well, while I'm having fun, I'm also going to try to learn more about it. I'm going to try to work hard. I'm going to try to make friends. I'm going to try other things. But I think maybe I would have said to myself that making my channel what I want it to be and not what I think it needs to be
Mm-hmm.
is important. Like making sure I am comfortable 100% on my channel versus, oh, they want me to play Splatoon. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm. Yep,
there's an
absolutely.
element of delivering what your community wants to see from you, obviously. But I'd never wanted to feel like trapped into something. And I want to say a few months after I started streaming, Splatoon stopped doing the Splatfest and like the online updates and everything. And that's when I saw like a drop off.
Mm-hmm.
Is because people weren't playing it as much anymore because that stuff kind of stopped. So that was when I figured out like, oh, it can negatively affect you if you kind of keep yourself in a box. While I enjoyed, what I streamed, but like that's when I realized that having like a backup or branching out, could help me. And it ended up being that way. And I figured out how to maybe provide a certain experience no matter what game I'm playing or no matter what we're talking about. And that's what I needed to, kind of like hone and work on was that
That makes sense.
experience.
Yeah. Okay. This one, hopefully it's not too controversial. I don't think it will be, but it's a simple question. And that question is, what is your streamer pet peeve? What is something that you see a streamer do as you're watching them and you're like, ugh, like it just kind of makes you cringe a little bit? Do you have any of those?
I don't really like when streamers are, I mean, I'm pretty like accepting of a lot of things. I've watched a lot of streams. I
Mhm.
watched a stream of a jar of peanut butter.
Wait, what do you mean?
Absolutely. There's a person who streams an open jar of peanut butter, and that's it, and it's on the table. I don't know if her name is Jack Dyer, so I don't know, but I watched it. There was hundreds of us.
Okay.
There watching it, gambling.
Anybody can make it on Twitch.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen some stuff. I have seen some stuff, and you know, honestly, there isn't a whole lot that would bother me because I feel like as long as people are doing what they want to do in their space, I support it, even if it's not what I would do. If you're happy streaming a jar of peanut butter, I'm up here like, how the hell did you come up with this? You genius. How did you do this? What even made you interested in this? Like I'm sitting over here curious as to why this made you happy and why this was the decision. Now I'm like admiring you for your bravery.
Wow.
Yeah. So I honestly, I don't know if I really have any. I like when people are comfortable in their channel and when they're being themselves, in their channel. I like to watch that. I think that's cool. I think that's one of the most beautiful things about Twitch is how different everybody is.
Absolutely. I think that's why everybody can make it, because everybody's different and everybody brings different things to the table in their own way. So absolutely agree. This next question, and this is something that I also kind of know the answer to, but I just want to hear it from you. And that question is, how do you deal with harassment, whether it be Twitch, Twitter, etc.?
Oh boy. Well, unfortunately, harassment is something that I have had a lot of experience with. In I want to say just the first year I was streaming on Twitch, I was like, oh, okay, this is different, and it made me very uncomfortable. But it also made me learn how to assert those boundaries, which is something I needed to learn, and I needed to learn it fast. And so, not that I'm glad it happened, but I'm grateful that I was able to wrap my mind around being able to protect myself and having people around me who care about my well-being as well. But recently with hate raids and things, it has kind of made me feel like obviously annoyed, but also like I wanted to hide, which was something new because I'm not like a hider. I'm like very much like, look at me and what we're doing. This is so cool. It's gonna be cooler if we do it together. But I haven't felt much like I wanted to include outsiders because of all the stuff that's going on. So, I've taken tags out and
Mm.
not posted when I'm live on Twitter as much. And, just other stuff where I'm like, it doesn't make me super happy about it. But at the same time, there's just so much going on that I really don't like and hearing about what's happening to other people. And there's a part of me that feels a responsibility to protect my community from that kind of stuff as well. Because it's my space and, kind of exposing them to that kind of like toxicity bothers me. That's why sometimes front page streams are difficult for me too, because I'm like, and
Yeah, you
I'm
never
really
know.
just not trying to drag them over there. Yeah. And, even though I know it's not our fault, I still feel that like guilt of like, oh my God, my mods are reading this
Mm.
disgusting stuff. And I love my mods and they're so great and they're such sweet people. And I am just like, what, sometimes you're reading stuff and you like going to sleep like, ooh, at night. And
Yeah.
I don't want to be the cause of that. Or I don't want to be involved
Right.
with
Okay.
the environment that's causing that for them. So there's a lot of different like feelings that I have about it. Obviously it's none of it is great, but ultimately I think my community and my mods again are really supportive and they understand me. And that kind of makes things a lot easier to navigate together.
I like it. Okay. Um, I got a few more questions. I'm almost done here. So I have heard from, or not heard from, but I've seen tweets. I'm thinking maybe Brandon, maybe Sensei CJ for sure. I think Brandon has tweeted about it as well. But they are both partners. You're a partner as well. And they tweet about how being a partner isn't the finish line. So what do you hope to accomplish on Twitch, if anything? If you're just, chilling, you're able to, pay for the things you want and that's enough for you. Are you in that mode, or are there bigger aspirations to maybe become an ambassador or to branch out into other industries using Twitch as a launchpad?
Well, that's a complicated one. This probably gonna be a long answer. I'm sorry in advance.
Okay.
That's a complicated one because I am somebody who likes reassurance. I'm somebody who likes my gold stars along the way. Did I do a good job? Thank you. Give me my sticker. That's how I feel. And with Twitch, getting partnered was like, okay, this is worth me doing, is how I feel about it, because I simply cannot stay somewhere and invest thousands of my dollars and my hours into something that I'm not seeing, from the thing that I'm working for, that I'm worth being there. Not my community showing up for me, but like who I'm working for, working with, being able to get that, that acknowledgement, and help me feel validated where I am. That's important to me. So when it comes to partnership, that was absolutely important to me. I know that that's not like the norm, or not everyone feels like being partnered is important, but I did. And it helped me a lot. And as soon as I got partnered, I stopped worrying about a ton of stuff. I literally was like, thank God. It was just relief. And then I was able to relax, and then things went even better than before. But yeah, I definitely have goals. I would love to be a Twitch ambassador.
Okay.
I don't necessarily have viewership goals, but I would love to be able to grow my community and be able to share my community with other people, because I think they're hilarious and they make things such a good time. As far as like what my long-term goals are, I again tend to go with feelings. I want to feel certain things, and whatever road I take to get there, then that's what I take. But ultimately, I want to feel like I'm investing my time wisely. I want to feel like I am giving my community the entertainment and the feelings and the experience that they appreciate. I want to make sure I'm making them proud by working hard or having some opportunity that makes them go, oh my gosh, Kiwi. I want that. I want them to feel like, as much as they have helped me, that I am utilizing the tools. And, it's very important to bounce off of them and to make sure they know that, they're very much part of my success and very
Absolutely.
much part, like it's like our success. It's us doing things together and being able to open up doors like together.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's kind of my goal, is to be happy, to be able to pay my bills, to be safe, and to be able to give my community things that I feel like they deserve.
I feel that. I feel that. Okay. Um, and that just reminded me, like, whenever you talk about we and you want to make them proud and let them know that they helped you accomplish it. And I, realize, and it's not like a strategic thing, but whenever I succeed at a game or something like that, I'm like, we did it. Look what we did. Even though it was like, a lot of, like, most of it was me, but like they stuck around, they watched me fail and they, may have told me like, oh, try this instead. Maybe backseat it, within reason. But yeah, I do think that it's important to let your community know that they're appreciated mods as well. Back to your harassment answer. And they are really the backbone of Twitch in general. I was going to say streamers, but Twitch in general. So my last question is, let's say there's a streamer who's been streaming for a while and they aren't getting those accolades. They aren't getting what they feel like they think they deserve. What advice would you give to them?
Because those things are important to me. I'm not someone who's like, never, never give up, never whatever, never change. I'm not that kind of person. I'm definitely like, stop, child, stop and figure out what it is that you really want. Figure out what it is that you like about streaming, and figure out, do you need to stream to get that? Sometimes if things aren't working out, you do have to stop and reevaluate and be like, yo, like, what do I even want? Or, what am I getting from this that I feel like I can't get from something else? And just to be patient with yourself, because a lot of those things are also out of your control. But much like I said about corporate work, if you're unhappy, which I would be unhappy, if I felt like I was stagnant with my career, I would feel very unhappy, especially if it was for a long period of time. So anybody who is feeling that feeling, I wouldn't, I feel like I wouldn't be opposed to like, okay, let's go back to the drawing board and see what I need to do. Do I need to take a break? Do I need to redirect? Do I need to have a clearer vision for myself? Do I need to do something else? Do I need to package my content another way? Do I need to do pre-recorded content? Like, I feel like there's just always something to think about or to consider, that if you make one small change to something, it could, help you in the long run, and not to keep running into the same wall like head first because you just want it. There might be like literally an open door 2 feet to the left, but your ass is running into the wall. Like, sometimes you just gotta redirect and figure out what it is. And so, if that means that you stop streaming and start doing something else, or start streaming on another platform, then that's what that means. But it's always worth a try to just experiment until you land where you feel like, okay, I belong here, or, it's good to be here, because your happiness and your fun and your freedom with your stream is of the utmost importance.
Yeah, absolutely. I live like Bruce Lee, you got to be like water. You got to, change and adapt as need be. And if something isn't working, more than likely in most cases, it's your fault. There's something you might be able to change.
Yes.
Like, there's a lot of things there's some things that's, oh, I got lucky. You got a lucky, retweet maybe, but even still, even if you do get a lucky retweet or a lucky raid or whatever you want to call it, it takes skill to be able to maintain that viewership, because it is live content and there is no such thing as luck. Like,
yes. And not for an extended period of time, but
at
like
all.
Even with I don't know if you remember the girl who put the Gorilla Glue in her hair.
Yes.
That was like literally a viral thing, and everyone was following that. And, even if it wasn't viral, it would have still been interesting if you heard about it, because it was already interesting before it went viral. And that's how I feel about content creation. You have to already be interesting, or, you know, you have to already have something going on. And then what you just are ready for the moment.
That's true.
You got to stay ready for the moment if that's what you're, you know, what you're trying to do, because you never know what's gonna catch. And so the more you're prepared, you know, got your arms wide open for this stuff to come and approach you, then, you know, when it actually does, then you'll already be ready for it.
Stay ready. You ain't got to get ready.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, honestly, you know, just last week, I changed every thumbnail on my YouTube channel. 29 videos. I just completely changed the thumbnail for it. Just like those little incremental changes. And somebody was like, oh, does the algorithm really pay attention to this? And I'm like, it's not really about the algorithm. I'm trying to like change little things that could be wrong. Simple things, from changing my body from the left side of the thumbnail to the right side of the thumbnail. And it's just like those little things that might help. It might not, but it might. So, you know, yeah. I just try to, you know, again, be like water and change, and, you know, realize that, you know, whatever's going wrong, more than likely, I'm the only one who has control over myself and my content. So I just focus on that. But thank you for the interview once again.
Of course.
Would you like to remind people where they can find you?
Oh, yeah. I am KiwiOnTheSticks on Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and maybe TikTok. There are tumbleweeds blowing across my TikTok. Hopefully not for much longer. Okay. And I'm sure once I boot up my merch line, I'll be in touch with you about pick up your precious Kiwi sweatshirt.
Of course. We can't wait. Well, once again, thank you, Kiwi. This has been the Eric V and Kiwi on the Sticks. Class dismissed. You know, with OLED screens, they're like blacks are basically just like turned off pixels, so the blacks are really deep blacks. Oh Jesus! And if anybody knows about deep blacks, it's me. What the happened though? I had to get that joke off. I had to get that joke off.